also the possibility that if you devolve it, the budgets will go out of control.
Well, that's not going to happen. Yeah, okay. Yes.
And there's a possibility that people will just buy stock, buy an extra few.
Well, so they need to understand and be educated about things like that, don't they?
No, you don't, because they don't buy 1 million tons of cornflakes in their home life, do they? They don't do that. It's all appropriate.
It's free money.
But could they?
Yeah. Well,
in a fractal working world where everyone's doing everything, could they
buy
1 million tons of stuff?
Well, they could, but they're going to be charged for the money they use.
Yeah,
they've got a credit limit.
But it's too late after that. They've done it.
No, it's not, because you've got a credit limit. You can't have an infinite amount of credit to buy.
Okay, but within my credit limit, I could do some things that were stupid.
Yes.
But
so could the purchasing department, and much worse. So the purchasing department could do incredibly stupid things. They do. Yeah, and we've got plenty of anecdotes about that.
Yeah.
But it's usually on a much bigger scale.
But you just run that risk and let people learn from experience to an extent, do you?
Okay, so the biggest problem we ever had was not when we were running our so-called fractal system, which was whole and complete and worked. It was when we were migrating over. So we were part way there.
Yeah.
So we had certain things in place. People were purchasing. And we had things like approved suppliers lists and all those good things. But we didn't have, say, for example, a balance sheet on them. So if they made a saving by buying in bulk, there's a tendency for them to be able to use that. And they could use their company's account to buy in bulk.
So they had a profit and loss, but not a balance sheet.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and we were transitioning. And there's... Yeah, it's like saying you're going to go from playing tennis to football, but as you transition between the two slowly, you've got to keep a
dangerous time.
Yeah.
And what went wrong was there one thing that went wrong when you were doing that, or it just got out of control a bit?
During the whole process, we had all sorts of things go wrong, and it's the danger as you transition. You're halfway between tennis and football. You have often a dysfunctional game. So we would have things, for example. As we transitioned, we put limits on the bonuses that people could get from the profitability of their cell, because we knew there were other cells which were doing unprofitable work that needed subsidising.
Okay,
so and sometimes they do crazy things.
Yeah, some people were learning at a different stage, and we could see the people who were at the forefront of this were going to have to be able to subsidise those people who weren't
for a bit until it was all running.
So this transition, as you say, is very difficult to half do it without running into all sorts of new problems. So as you end up with devolving all your purchasing, what happens to your budgeting? What happens to your cash flow every month? All these things which suddenly an accounts department say, but I feel totally out of control now. How do we... Because the purchasing department, I got a list from them and they gave me every month what they were spending. And now I've got a whole bunch of people spending.
Yes.
I don't know what's going to land on my desk next Monday.
By the way, as an aside, this sounds quite scary to do this.
Yeah.
If somebody watching this wants to do it, could they talk to you about things to look out for?
Of course they could.
So they could contact you via me or...
Yeah.